I recently ditched Google Analytics for Plausible.
Wow. What?
Do you want to know why? Let's discover it in the next few minutes. A couple of months ago, I gave a facelift to my website and decided to remove ads and any other software that could have negative effects on your privacy. This was the moment I questioned for the first time my use of Google Analytics. When I launched my website back in 2016, I immediately set up Google Analytics because it was free and included advanced features. Coincidentally, the very same year, the European Parliament drafted the famous or infamous GDPR, which restricted personal data collection and management. As a European citizen, I wanted to comply immediately.
I set the rules and you follow them blindly.
But I was overwhelmed by the complexity of such regulation. To be fully honest, I was pissed. I thought it was unfair to place all those responsibilities on small bloggers who are just sharing their knowledge for free on the web. If I had a hard time dealing with GDPR while being a software architect, how could the average blog owner deal with it? However, today I realized that Google Analytics was not free. My audience was paying the price by sharing their personal data, and the responsibility was mine because I made the decision to use that tool. As you can imagine, companies offering compliance solutions immediately appear on the market, together with those annoying cookie consent banners. As expected, even Google had to work hard to improve its stance on privacy. In fact, they launched Google Analytics 4, an improved consent mode, and also a program for certified consent management platforms. The way consent works is very simple. Before any data is extracted from the session, you're given the opportunity to decide which type of data you want to share with the service provider. The CMP records your preference and then configures accordingly the context for the analytics tracker, which complies with your decision. Sounds good, right? The problem is that in practice, this is way more complicated than it needs to be. There are loads of settings you need to manage across Google, the CMP, and your website. In addition, you need to comply with many more regulations like CCPA, PCR, and LGBT. It took me a long time, but finally I realized that, once again, I was missing the obvious. All I want is simple web analytics, page view count, bounce rate, and maybe reading time. That's all. I'm not interested in anything else. Most importantly, I don't need any personal data. Why would I? Finally, after 8 years using Google Analytics, I looked for alternatives and discovered Plausible. Plausible is an open source Google Analytics alternative that does exactly what I need. It offers lightweight analytics without compromising on privacy. The analytics dashboard is simple and intuitive. It's not cluttered with menus or settings. It just offers the data that matters to a blogger like me. I can see page views, visit durations, most visited pages, source of traffic, locations, and devices. The most appealing characteristic of Plausible is that it's privacy focused. It doesn't leverage cookies and it doesn't collect personal information. All statistics are collected anonymously and all data is aggregated. Plausible has no reason to profile individual users because it's not an advertising company and doesn't sell your data to third parties. If you visit my website homepage, you'll see that the only cookie set in your browser is the cookie yes consent. No other cookies are used. The consent pop-up is still in place because cookies are still created when I embed a YouTube video and also to implement the login functionality for the newsletter members. By the way, if you're not subscribed, make sure to fix that. Since Plausible is open source, we can also inspect its code. The tracker script is just 170 lines of code, including the templating markup, which translates to roughly 1 kilobyte when minimized. This means that its impact on page loading time is negligible. This is possible because Plausible collects only essential statistics. In fact, if we compare it to the competition, we can see it's several times smaller. There are two flavors of Plausible, Cloud and Community Edition. The most comfortable option is using Plausible Cloud, which is offered as a service by its creators. All you need to do is to create an account, place the tracker script in the header of your website, and you're good to go. You have a 1-month free trial to test the service without any commitment. This is the option I recommend, not only because it's the most convenient and it includes some premium features, but also because it's a direct way of supporting the project and the creators behind it. They declare themselves to be completely independent, self-funded, and self-bootstrapped. In other words, there is no big corporation behind them with a different agenda or big plans. I want to highlight that this is my personal opinion, and I'm not sponsored or affiliated to Plausible in any way. The other option is to self-host the Community Edition. This is what I'm testing right now on my website for two reasons. First, I was curious to see how data is collected in their ClickHouse database. As you can see, there is no personal data. The other reason is that I've already invested a lot in facelifting my website, licenses, and gear to produce YouTube videos, so I ran out of funds. That said, if you enjoy my content and want to help me out to produce more, visit the Support Me page on my website for more information. I hope you found this video useful. If you did, make sure to share it with your friends so that everyone can learn something new.